I'm Christina Joe, and this is my Who Am I video. So starting off with question one, what are currently four major priorities in your life? Number one for me will always be my family and close relationships that I have, because I just think going through life by yourself is hard. So having a support team and those who love you and the fact that you give the same to them is very important to me. Number two would be my mental health. My health as a whole is very important, so much that I break it up between my mental and my physical health. So number two, my second priority would be my mental health because I do suffer from some mental disabilities. So I constantly cope and work through those. Number three would be my education and kind of innovation. Uh, I am a mechanical engineering degree, so innovation is all my degree is. So kind of learning about what new technologies are available and putting those and implementing those is very important to me, and also constantly learning because when I do graduate and get a job, even in my job, I will be constantly learning about new things. Education is always very important to me. And last but not least, my fourth priority would be my physical health. Growing up, my parents always told me I could do any after school activity I wanted as long as I stayed active. So growing up, I was a gymnast and then I was a dancer, uh, and I still am a dancer today. So I always cared about being active and my physical health because it's just kind of become a habit now. So those are my four major priorities: my family and close relationships, my mental health, my education, and my physical health. So moving on to question two, what makes up your current identity? So I am half Filipino and half Chinese, and I am the third generation in my family. So my family has been here for a very long time. Um, so I didn't really have any close connection to my cultural side until I went to college and joined the cultural clubs there. And it was really nice because it made me feel closer to my roots and closer to the countries that like my grandparents and even my grandparents experienced, and it just kind of makes me feel closer to them. Another part, I don't want to say it's part of my identity, but um, it is a significant experience that did change my life. So 2 years ago, I was a victim of a crime, um, and that's kind of why I have mental disabilities. And even today, I'm working through and coping that to kind of find myself through these mental disabilities again and kind of becoming myself again. But I guess the upside of this is that at the end of the year, I will be getting my service dog. So he would help me gain independence so that I actually can come to campus and take class. Because the reason I'm only taking online classes right now is because I can't physically go to campus because of my mental disabilities. So having a service dog with me will actually let me pursue and get farther in my education. And moving on to question three, what roles do you play? So in my family, I'm a family of four. So I'm a daughter, a sister, and a sibling. I'm the older sister. I also have a very large extended family. So I'm a cousin, an aunt, a niece, um, and even a goddaughter. In my relationships, I am a significant other. I am a girlfriend. In school, I am a student and a learner. And in my personally, I would like to see myself as a survivor, a supporter, and an advocate for those who have kind of been in similar situations as me. And moving on to question four, how many faces do you put on? I think I put on many faces, but I don't believe I do it based on my personality It's more about my mood. And this kind of goes into uh, question 5 too, of offering explanation of why we think we need to put on faces. For me at least, the two main reasons that I put on faces, one, so that others don't have to worry about me, and two, to kind of fake it till I make it. So, for example, if I'm having a bad day, one, I don't want to like burden that onto other people and have them worry about me. And two, if I pretend I'm happy, your brain kind of like tricks itself into becoming happy. It's kind of like when you're sad and you kind of force yourself to um, smile or laugh. You feel better just because the dopamine in your brain goes off. So it's kind of like that, faking it till you make it so you feel better. And that's kind of the constant face that I put on. Um, Another thing is, I don't think putting on a face can always be a bad thing because, for example, the face that you put on when you go to a job interview is not the same face that you're going to put on when you go hang out with your friends. So I think um, it's important to know what you should do, what you can do in certain situations. And I think that's part of putting on a face, so I don't think it's always a bad thing. And finally, question 6, what are the most important principles, values, morals, or ethics you live by? So for me, compassion, respect, kindness are always important. You know, going by the golden rule and treating others how they would treat you, treating others the way you would treat them, sorry, is always very important. Um, I am a Christian, so those are my religious views. And another thing is having an open mind, especially in the world that we live in today where we're getting fed so much information. It's important to step out of your bubble and listen to those who have a differing opinion and like kind of not debate or argue, but talk about it. And yes, in today's day and age, it is very hard, but I feel like without trying, we're still stuck in the bubble that we kind of have. Another important thing to me is not having just sympathy, but empathy. Um, Being sympathetic for someone is feeling bad for them, but having empathy means that you can still feel sad for them, but you kind of understand them more and kind of have, I guess, more, I think, respect for whatever they're feeling and whatever they're going through. And I think that's an important aspect that humanity loses sometimes. So I think it's important for us to remember that. And last but not least, I always do my best to listen to my gut because I believe my brain shuts off sometimes and won't tell me when something's wrong, but my body will. So when my body gives me that gut feeling, I step back and reflect on like, okay, why did I have that gut feeling? So I think it's important to not listen only to your brain, but also to your body. So yes, that is me. Thank you for listening to my Who Am I video.